رب زدني علما.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. What if I told you that some of the most common things you've heard about Islam are simply not true? Islam is one of the world's largest religions, followed by nearly 2 billion people. But despite its size and history, it's also one of the most misunderstood. Today we're breaking down the top 5 misconceptions about Islam, using real history, scholarship, and of course, the Qur'an itself. Misconception number 1. Islam was spread by the sword. Many people imagine Islam only spread through wars and forced conversions. But history tells a different story. Books like Ira Lapidus, History of Islamic Societies, and the Atlas of Islamic History show that some of the largest Muslim populations in the world today, like Indonesia, Bangladesh, and West Africa, became Muslim mainly through trade, scholars, and cultural exchange. In fact, the Qur'an itself says, "There is no compulsion in religion." Chapter 2, verse 256. Yes, battles happened, just as they did in every civilization. But the lasting spread of Islam often came from merchants, teachers, and spiritual guides. Think about this. Indonesia, the world's largest Muslim majority country, never faced an Arab army. So if Islam was only spread by the sword, how did it get there? Misconception number 2. Women have no rights in Islam. This idea is everywhere, but it's far from the full truth. Historians like Asma Barlas and Hossein Kamali highlight Muslim women who shaped history. Leaders, scholars, poets, and even founders of institutions. One example is Fatima al-Fihri, who founded the world's first university in Morocco in the 9th century. That university still exists today. Islam granted women rights to inheritance, property, and education long before Europe did. Were those rights always applied perfectly? No. Just as ideals in any society are not always lived out. But the foundation was there. Women were recognized as independent legal and spiritual beings. Here's a question to think about. If Islam gave women the right to own businesses 1400 years ago, why do so many people today assume it gave them nothing? Misconception number 3. Islam is anti-modern and unchanging. Some think Islamic law froze in the 7th century. But scholars like Rumey Ahmed and Wel Halak show that Islamic law has always evolved. For example, when new technologies appeared, printing presses, airplanes, DNA testing, the internet, Muslim scholars debated and adapted rulings. Even in the early centuries, Islamic law changed as it spread across regions, responding to different cultures and economy. That's why rulings in medieval Spain look different from rulings in India or Africa. So here's the curiosity. If Islamic law never changed, how do Muslims today deal with things like organ transplants, online banking, or space travel? Misconception number 4. Muslims don't believe in freedom of religion. The Quran explicitly states, "To you your religion, and to me mine." Chapter 109, verse 6. It emphasizes that belief cannot be forced. Historically, Jews and Christians lived under Muslim rule with legal protection. Was it always perfect? No. But compared to the religious wars in Europe, Islamic societies often had a more pluralistic record. For example, after Jews were expelled from Spain in 1492, many found refuge in the Ottoman Empire, a Muslim state. Ask yourself this: if Islam truly opposed religious freedom, why would persecuted minorities run toward Muslim lands for safety? And finally, misconception number 5. Islam equals terrorism. This is one of the most damaging myths. Scholars like Jonathan A.C. Brown and John Esposito remind us that terrorism is political, not religious. Every religion has been misused for violence, and Islam is no exception. But what does the Qur'an actually say? Whoever kills one innocent soul, it is as if they have killed all of humanity. Chapter 5, verse 32. The word jihad is often mistranslated as holy war. In reality, it means struggle, and most often refers to the inner struggle to be a better person. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself condemned harming innocents, women and children, even in times of war. So the question is, if Islam really equaled terrorism, why do billions of Muslims live peaceful lives every day with faith centered on prayer, charity, and community? So let's recap. Islam was not spread only by the sword. Women did and do have rights. Islamic law adapts. Freedom of religion is part of its message, and terrorism is not Islam. Misconceptions spread fast, but truth spreads faster when we're willing to ask questions and dig deeper. If you found this video eye-opening, share it, because breaking myths doesn't just change minds, it opens hearts. Like and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.